How would your life change if I showed you how to master your 6 basic human needs and live your life with passion and influence those around you to do the same? Would that change your life drastically? I believe it would. And that's why I created this video, to share with you what your 6 basic human needs are and how they influence your day, and how some of them actually work in conflict with each other, and it creates conflict in your life. It confuses you, it messes with your emotions, and it messes with your relationships sometimes in your life. And I hope that this video will help you for free. So you don't have to opt in, you don't have to do anything to get this information. And I hope it helps you live a better life. I do this because I care. So let's get to it. Okay? Your first human need is the need for certainty. It's a basic human need that, we take for granted every day. We want to know that when we climb the steps, that the steps are going to hold us, that the second floor is going to hold us, that when we're driving down a 2-lane road, that double yellow line, even though it's nothing more than paint, is going to hold back the other car coming the other direction, that the driver is not going to cross that double yellow line. We need to be certain that they are not going to cross into our lane. Otherwise, we're not going to drive. We're not going to go onto that second floor. We're not going to get into the airplane if we're not certain that it's going to land. We're just not going to do it, because why would you? If you were certain that it was going to crash, if you were certain that it was going to fall, if you were certain that there was going to be an accident, why would you do it? Unless you were doing it for heroic purposes to save somebody else's life, why would you do it? That'd be crazy. So we have an inherent need for certainty in our lives. It's just a basic need. It's a basic necessity to ensure that we can get through our day without being hurt. But here's the funny thing. Our Creator, whomever you believe that to be, also instilled in us a need for uncertainty and variety to keep us entertained. Because if we woke up every day and we knew exactly what was going to happen every day, and there was no variety and nothing changed, and we had no spice in life, we'd go out of our minds. And believe it or not, this is one of the leading causes of cheating in relationships, is because people get out of the dating routine. They get out of what they did whenever they first started dating. There was something always new. There was something always exciting. They were always trying to win over the other person. And when you get married, you fall into that routine of, well, now you're my wife, you're my husband, we have a family. We have to make a living. We have to raise a family. And the family comes first. And that's not necessarily how it should be. I mean, yes, the family is important, but where does the family start? The family starts with you. And if you don't keep the variety and the spark in your relationship, it gets boring. I mean, how many people want to get up every day, go to work, pay the bills, come home, get something to eat, do the chores around the house, and go to sleep, just to wake up and do the same thing over and over and over again? I'm sure that's why we all got married, right? We all got married because that's what we were looking for. We were just looking for a robot to lay next to, because that's what we felt in our heart. Yeah, that's somebody that I feel absolutely numb towards, and that's it. Yeah. So we need variety. And when we lose that and we get into too much certainty, we get bored and we stray. Even though we love somebody, we stray. Even though we might love our job, we decide we get bored from it. Even though, we absolutely love the fact that the car stays on the double, yellow, on their side of the double yellow line, or the airplane stays in the air. Sometimes there's people that like to jump out of perfectly good airplanes, which I really don't understand, but there's people that do, because they need the thrill. Now, they're certain that the parachute's going to open, but there's that what-if factor. That ground's coming up pretty quick, and there's that what-if factor. And even those that are certain that the roller coaster or the parachute's going to open, you get that rush of blood, that fear, and it makes them feel alive. Those are the adrenaline junkies. They love that variety. They thrive on it. But then it brings you to your third basic need, which is a need for significance. You need to feel important. You need to know that people find you to be important in their lives. That's, you need to know that you're not just somebody that floats through life and nobody cares. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that I see on my Facebook page that feel that way. And that's a feeling that's self-induced. That's usually a symptom of hanging around with the wrong people, the wrong tribe. Too many people are concerned with having a million friends when really you only need one or two. But we all want that feeling of significance. If we have 500 friends, 1,000 friends, or on Facebook you have maxed out 5,000 friends on your friends list, you feel significant. You feel like you're important. And that's a need. We all have that need. And it definitely needs to be met somehow. Some meet it properly, some don't. And when you don't, you end up getting in trouble. And I'll help show you how to meet that properly later on. The fourth need is the need for connection and love. And unfortunately, this is one of the most abused needs on the entire list. People get lonely and they settle. People change who they are and become fake just so that they can appease somebody because they're lonely. Because we all have that need for connection and love. We need to feel loved by somebody else outside of our own family. We need to feel like, not only are we significant to this person, but they love us. They want to be with us. That we are more important to them than just about anything or anyone. And that drive, that need, that desire causes a lot of us to become fake. And that causes a lot of issues. That causes a lot of pain in our lives. Because if you're normally a person who does things a certain way, if you're normally a quiet person and you find this woman that you really like and she's loud and obnoxious and you become a loud and obnoxious person just because you want to be with her, or vice versa, or she drinks and you don't, now you're picking up a habit that you don't like, that's not you, that could become a life-changing habit if you become an alcoholic, all to appease somebody that's not who you are. But people do it all the time. Be who you are. Who cares if they like you or if they don't like you in that particular case? Love yourself and attract the right people. But because we have this need, we change. And I get it because I've done it too in the past, but I just don't go there anymore. But it's a very powerful need. And it's caused many addiction, and it's caused suicide, and it's caused a lot of other really bad things to happen. But those first four are not the most powerful. The first four are surface desires, surface needs. The last two are core desires and core needs that are the reason why you have the addictions and the suicides and the really bad things that happen to people, and the really good things that happen to people, the really fulfilling things, because they meet the deepest needs that we all have, and that is the need to grow and to contribute. As long as we are growing as a human being, we feel good because we're growing. We're continuously getting better. It's like they say, as long as you're growing, you're good. As soon as you stop growing, you start to die. And there's a lot of truth to that. And it's not just in growing in stature. It's intellectually, it's emotionally, it's in every aspect of your life. As soon as you stop growing, you start to die. If you're not growing emotionally, you start dying emotionally. And the first 4 needs help in the 5th and in the 6th. So how you approach the first 4 will help you in the 5th and in the 6th. Okay? You need to grow in your personal life, your private life, in your career, in your education. You need to grow in those areas. You need to focus on those areas. You don't need to focus on one at a time. You need to focus on all of them a little bit each day. And as long as you're making steady progress in them, you'll feel like you're growing. You need to contribute. You can't just be selfish. You'll never satiate the self, ever. That's why you see some of the poorest people in the world giving from what they don't have, and they're the happiest people around. They don't have anything to give, but they still give. And they're happy because they're contributing. And when you contribute out of love. And there's always an abundance of love. You can never give away all of your love. But you can always, always, always choke on greed. Always. So the last 2 are supported by the first 4. And how you approach the first 4 is what you'll get out of the last 2. So if you approach the first 4 positively and seek good results from the first 4, you'll be fulfilled in the last 2 and in your life. If you seek greedily the first 4, the last 2 will not be good for you. And there's a way of approaching that will help you to better understand how that would affect your life. And I call it the 4 levels of activity. Okay, the 4 levels of activity are: level 1, it feels good, is good for you, is good for others, and it serves the greater good. Level 2, it does not feel good, it is good for you, it is good for others, and it does serve the greater good. Level 3, it feels good to you, it is not good for you, it is not good for others, and it does not serve the greater good. And level 4, it does not feel good, it is not good for you, it is not good for others, and it does not serve the greater good. And believe it or not, most people want to focus on either level 1 or level 3, where it feels good for them, and it is either good for them, good for others, and it serves the greater good, or where most of the people spend most of their time anymore is it feels good for them, but it's not good for them, it's not good for others, and it does not serve the greater good. Just because it feels good for you doesn't mean that it is good for you. Believe it or not, most of your time should be spent at level 2, where it does not feel good for you, but it is good for you, it is good for others, and it serves the greater good. And you should spend your time learning to love level 2 activities. The reason you don't like it, the reason that it doesn't feel good, is because you're growing as a human being. You're growing as a person. And you're stretching yourself. And that's a level 5 need. That's number 5. And you will be fulfilled if you do that. And the people around you will be fulfilled. And they'll be inspired, and they will grow as well. And you will be contributing, which is number 6. And that meets both of those needs. And it also meets the first four. So that's my take on the 6 human needs. I hope it's helped. If it has, fill out the form below and subscribe to my newsletter. I publish it every Monday, and I will be providing even more information on how to turn your life around, to get better control of your emotions, and live a better, more passionate, and loving life. All right? Until then, talk to you later. Bye.